people. Well, today we are going to be talking about Cinderella is Dead by Kalynn Bayron. And I have to say, this is the second time that I read this one, but it came to my attention that I never did publish the review of this book in my channel. I did talk about it in a radio show where I talk about books, but yeah, I never did the review in here, so here I am. I have to say that I love this book. As you can see by the title, it's like the construction of the Cinderella tale. I'm going to talk much about it now, but for me, the magic of this book, it's not exactly the story that it's telling, that it's an amazing story, but for me, the magic of this book, it's that it takes fairy tales and shows them into a different light. What I mean by that, it's we have this wall with this white supremacy and fairy tales. If you see Disney movies, if you read different fairy tales, sorry, you are always going to be seeing this white male who is super amazing and super sexy and has a castle and it's a prince or a king or whatever, and he comes and saves the day and saves the white damsel in distress, and they fall in love and they get to be together forever. And I love that in this book, Kalynn brings a tale for all those people who were never represented in fairy tales. So we are going to have people who don't look like the regular character of fairy tales. We're going to have people of color, and also we're going to have people who like girls, girls who like girls, guys who like guys, and people who simply don't like anyone, or different sexualities and different ideas of love. And I love this book for that more than anything, because it brings representation to that spectrum of people who have never been represented in fairy tales, which I think it's amazing. Because I want to see one fairy tale when there is a woman that saves herself, or where you have this amazing black character that doesn't turn into a toad for half the movie or almost all the movie. I am thinking about Diana. And yeah, you know what I mean. And this is why I love this book so much. What we are going to find in here? We are going to find this girl here, who's our main character. She is called Sophia. And we are going to be seeing from the very beginning of the book that she lives in this society in which women are really oppressed by men. They have to go home very early, they have to cover themselves up, and they have to say yes, sir, to everything. They can be abused, they can be beaten, and they can be abused, and it's like they are properties. And you have this male society in which males are the intelligent ones, are the ones that should be in place of power. And there's like this ball, it's like the Cinderella ball, where all the eligible young women go dressed in their best finery, so they can parade around and have guys beat on them and choose wives that way. It doesn't matter if they are older than the girls, if they already have a wife, they can have as many as they want, and they can do with them whatever they want. So yeah, she's living in this kind of society, and there is this legend in which there was this amazing prince called Prince Charming, who saved the day back then, and he fell in love with Cinderella, and they were married, and they were amazing. And now the descendants of Prince Charming are the ones who are kings and do whatever they want. And this society, this very this very male society, it's the king, it's going to be approving all these decrees about women having to be home very early. They are the ones to blame if something happens to them. They shouldn't be provoking the guys. And he has made this society in which there's some guys who don't agree with it, but they do nothing to stop this abuse that women are having. So I have read reviews in which there's readers that say The thing that she's putting in here aren't right. She's exaggerating. I don't know. I'm a woman, and I have encountered many of the situations that she's explaining here. The sentence that when you are walking on the street and some guy that you know from nothing comes to you and says, "Smile, you're so beautiful, you should be smiling." And it's like, I will smile if my smile will obliterate you. Or, when you were walking and there's someone catcalling you, or when something happens, a girl is raped and it's blame on her because she shouldn't be walking alone on the street, or she shouldn't be dressed like that, or she shouldn't be drunk. It's like society blames women instead of, putting the blame where it belongs, which is in those males that think that women are property. And, I have never met a woman that doesn't walk on the streets at night and it's afraid. And she's afraid, it's... Yeah, and I think that she's criticizing all of that, all this male patriarchy in which obviously there is good guys, and I don't want to offend them. It's what she says here in the book when she's talking with a guy and he gets like offended. I'm not like them, okay? If you are not like them, you don't need to get offended. We're talking about these guys who mistreat women. So yeah, so I think it's a very brave book to write, because she's denouncing this male patriarchy. She is also defying all these fairy tales in which we have, as I say, white characters with blue eyes and blonde hair, and women who need to be swept off their feet by charming princes. And I love that we have here a main character who is not only black, but she dreams of saving herself. I love that, and I love that she's attracted to women, and I love that she is brave and she doesn't want to submit and she wants to fight for what she believes in. And I love when sometimes when her parents don't get her and try to tell her you should change. I love how she says, I cannot change. This is who I am. You want me to change so I fit into this idea of society that you have, but this is not who I am. And you shouldn't try to hide me. And if you try to hide me, it doesn't make me disappear. I am who I am. And I love how she comes to be proud of who she is. And I love that as she has, at the beginning, she has this relationship where she's the one giving and she's always, and she has to hide and she doesn't want to. And I love that she comes to find someone who makes her realize her own worth, and and they are in an equal footing. I love that, because I think that more or less every one of us had a relationship in which you learn from your past experiences, and then suddenly you have this friendship where you find your worth and you realize that you don't have to hide how you feel, and also you have this other person who embraces who you are and also lifts you up, and that's amazing. And I'm talking here about the girl she's going to find that I'm making a jumble of the review. Okay, we're talking about Sophia, this main character here, and she wants to defy the order that the society has. She doesn't want to go to the ball and be chosen. She doesn't want to marry a man because she likes women. She's in this relationship with this girl who's called Erin. Erin doesn't want to come out. She wants to hide that she likes women because she has been raised in this very oppressive society in which women are very submissive and they have to marry man. It's like woman man. There is not other equation. It doesn't work in any other way. And she's afraid, and Sophia understands that some of those things that made Erin afraid is the way in which she has been brought up, thinking, as I said, that women are less and that they should shut up and do everything the male says. But she also begins to see how she is the one trying to make the relationship work, and a relationship has to work because the parts of the relationship, both of them, should make it work. So finally, when she has to go to this valley, it's at the very beginning of the book, she runs away. You will have to read the book to know why. And she finds herself in the presence of an amazing girl called Constance, which I love. And every time that she's described in the book, I imagine her like Andy Up. I don't know why, but she comes to my mind. And Constance is amazing, and I love this idea that she's going to present, because we have this idea of Cinderella being like the hero of the story, and we have the stepsisters who are ugly and bad and mistreat her. And here we are going to be finding Constance, who is a descendant of these stepsisters, and she's going to present us a story in which that's not true. That was some tampering with reality, and we are going to have the stepsisters as two very nice women who did love Cinderella a lot and who wanted to topple the regime that Prince Charming was going to be bringing about. So yeah, that's more or less the book, and I don't want to spoil anything more for you, but I have to say that I love the construction that she did about the tale of Prince Charming and Cinderella. I like how Prince Charming is not a hero here, but it's a monster king, and he wants to make all the women submit to him and to the other men. I love how we have these main characters who are black and who are members of the LGBTIQ collective. And I love how this tale explores the idea of, as I say at the beginning, of having a fairy tale with characters and way of loving and getting into relationships different from everything that we have read up until now. And there's lots of things that I love about this book. I mean, the book is very engaging. It's very easy to read because it never stops, it never dulls, and it's amazing. And it's going to be like a journey, like a physical journey, because the characters are going to be moving and going to places, but also it's a journey that goes inside them. And I love how Sophia comes from a place where she knows what she wants and ends. You will know how she ends. But I love this journey of self-discovery that she does, of being able to say, I love women, I am not ashamed of that, I don't want to be oppressed, and I'm not fighting only for myself, but for every woman. I love that she is so amazing. I love Constance, as I say, she's very brave, she's amazing. I need to know more about Constance. Yeah, I know that we know a lot, but I don't know, like a backstory of Constance before she met Sophia or something like that. Yeah, and I did love this concept also of women being able to save themselves. And yeah, it has a very strong vibe of down with the patriarchy. Women should be, able to decide for themselves. And yeah, if you are into all these things, you're going to love this book because it's amazing. So thank you for watching. Bye.